By an Iranian military commander saying ships belonging to the United States or Israel in the Strait of Hormuz are legitimate targets. The new threats come the same day 3 vessels were reportedly hit by projectiles in the strait. Let's bring in Fox News contributor and former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. Mr. Secretary, good to see you. So Dan Kane was asked about the possibility, the potential of U.S. military ships escorting ships through the Strait of Hormuz, as we saw many decades ago. Here's what he said.
On the potential, if tasked to escort, we'll look at the range of options to set the military conditions to be able to do that. What are the resources required? What is the command and control required? And what are the risks? And how do we mitigate those risks? We'll figure out how to solve problems as they come to us.
Mr. Secretary, they had to know that this was probably going to be necessary. So why are they just trying to figure this out now?
John, great to be with you. And Sandra, look, I don't think for a moment they're just figuring this out now. They're getting ready. They're doing the necessary in the same way that they set the field, set the defense so that we could knock down ballistic missiles and drones. Right, took several weeks to get all of that in place. They're now putting in place the work so that we can safely escort ships through the Strait of Hormuz. No, the military planning for this is years in the making. We know precisely how to do it. There is more work that needs to be done to take out Iranian capabilities so that we can do so safely. But you heard the threats on American ships traveling through there, John. We shouldn't forget those threats have been around for decades. Sure. Right? The very reason President Trump is having to do what we're doing is because they have threatened to close this strait time and time again and held American hostage and say, no, don't come get them because we'll blow your stuff up. This is very necessary. The right approach is being taken. It's methodical. We're just 11 days in, John. Lots more work to do. And when we do, we'll get the strait reopened. We'll do so safely. And we will have punished an Iranian regime that has taken so much toll on American life for so very long.
General Jack Keane was on with Larry Kudlow yesterday. And General Keane said now is not the time to be putting American ships in harm's way to transit the Straits of Hormuz. Listen to what he said.
If we start to bring our warships through right now, the Iranians still have the capability to range those ships with precision weapons. And that makes no sense in terms of the risk when we're going to finish them off entirely in a few weeks.
So the general is suggesting take the economic hit now, get the military goals and objectives accomplished in Iran, and then reopen the strait. What do you think of that?
Yeah, as usual, General Keene's spot on. The sequencing matters. I think that's actually what you heard the general saying about getting ready, doing the risk mitigation work that is necessary. So we will sequence this. We'll finish the mission. I think when you saw the announcement earlier today asking or directing civilians to get out of ports, I think that is very much part of this effort to set the conditions so that we can actually deliver to get oil and refined products flowing through the strait again. I'm very confident our military can execute this. It's just going to take a little bit of patience, a little bit of time, and in the meantime, markets will do what markets will do, and there'll be some difficult high gasoline prices for a moment. But we should never forget the ultimate objective, right? The goal there is to reduce a risk that's been sitting on us for an awfully long time.
So the new supreme leader who was elected the other day, Mojtaba Khamenei, there are reports that he is severely injured. I mean, so much so that he wasn't able to attend his own inauguration the other day. What do you know potentially about that?
Yeah, I just know what's been reported, but I also know who he is, right? He's in his mid-50s, somebody we studied when I was at the CIA a lot. We were thinking about who might be the next successor, even if it had been Khamenei had died from natural causes. So we know this guy. He is a hardliner. He has stolen lots of money. He has killed lots of people. He is deeply tied to the worst of the worst inside the Iranian regime. It doesn't surprise me at all that they selected him, but I think there is something up, right? We haven't seen him. What do new leaders always do, right? They go out and tell the people, I'm with you, this is tough times, but I'm your leader. And we've not seen hide nor hair of him. That suggests that something is up, that something's not normal, something's not right, and that he either has such fear of appearing, or he is badly injured, or perhaps, who knows, may not even still be around. It's just simply hard to know, given the fact that he has not come out since his anointment, his selection, and actually declared that he is the leader of the country.
You would think that even if he was in a hospital bed, that they would prop him up and at least get a picture out there, some sort of video. Instead, they had that cardboard cutout with his face on it the other day.
Yeah, no, John, you're exactly right. That's well said.
All right, Mr. Secretary, it was good to catch up with you. We will see what's going on, but certainly lots of rumors surrounding Mojtaba Khamenei and whether or not he is actually still with us tonight. Appreciate the time, sir.
Great. Thanks, John. Have a good afternoon.
You too. Sandra?
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.